What if I told you that the paycheck you're earning right now, the same money you spend every month, could be the very thing that builds your future wealth, not luck, not inheritance, not some secret reserved for the elite, just your paycheck transformed into a powerful machine that works for you day and night. Most people live their entire lives trading time for money. They earn, they spend, and they repeat. But what if you could break that cycle? What if every dollar you earn could become a worker, an asset, a stepping stone toward financial freedom? This isn't about working harder, it's about thinking smarter, it's about shifting from consumption to creation, from survival to strategy. The truth is, wealth isn't built by how much you earn, it's built by what you do with what you earn. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover 5 powerful lessons that can completely change the way you see money. These aren't theories. These are principles used by people who turned ordinary incomes into extraordinary wealth. Stay with me until the end, because one of these lessons could change your financial future forever. Lesson 1: Pay yourself first. The fundamental mistake most individuals make is treating their savings as a residual, the crumbs left over after the feast of monthly consumption. We are biologically wired to consume what is available. It is a survival mechanism that served our ancestors well but sabotages the modern investor. When you receive your paycheck and immediately begin settling debts with the utility company, the landlord, and the grocer, you are effectively placing everyone else's financial well-being above your own. You are the engine of your economic life, yet you are the last person to get paid. By the time the leftovers are tallied at the end of the month, willpower has usually eroded and the bank balance has dwindled to nothing, leaving your future self completely unfunded and vulnerable. To pay yourself first is to invert the traditional accounting equation. Instead of the formula being income minus expenses equals savings, the wealth builder adopts the formula income minus savings equals expenses. This is not merely a semantic shift, it is a psychological and structural revolution. By committing to a fixed percentage, ideally starting at 10% or 20%, and moving that capital into an investment or high-yield vehicle the moment it hits your account, you create a healthy forced scarcity. You learn to live on the remainder. Human beings are remarkably adaptable. When you see a smaller balance in your checking account, you subconsciously prioritize essential spending and trim the fat, often without feeling any significant decrease in your quality of life. Automation is the secret weapon of the disciplined. Relying on monthly willpower is a losing game because life is unpredictable and temptations are constant. By setting up automatic transfers that occur on payday, you remove the decision fatigue associated with saving. This turns wealth creation from an arduous monthly choice into a silent background process. Over time, this habit creates a psychological decoupling between your gross income and your spendable income. You begin to view your real income as the amount left after your future has been secured. This creates a fortress of peace, knowing that regardless of what happens in the marketplace, your net worth is trending upward every single time you are compensated for your labor. Furthermore, this lesson addresses the lifestyle creep that plagues high earners. As income rises, expenses typically rise to meet it, a phenomenon known as Parkinson's law. If you don't pay yourself first, a $50,000 raise often results in zero net worth growth because the money is absorbed by a nicer car or a larger mortgage. However, if you maintain the discipline of paying yourself a fixed percentage, every raise you receive automatically scales your wealth building. You aren't just saving for a rainy day, you are purchasing your freedom. Every dollar set aside is a freedom fighter working in the trenches of the market to eventually replace the need for your physical presence at a job. Paying yourself first is the ultimate act of self-respect and the only way to ensure that your labor today results in autonomy tomorrow. Lesson 2: Turn expenses into assets. In the modern economy, we are bombarded with sophisticated marketing designed to make us believe that liabilities are assets. We are told that a luxury car is a statement or that a high-end wardrobe is an investment in our brand. In reality, an asset has a very specific, cold-blooded definition. It is something that puts money into your pocket or appreciates significantly over time. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket through maintenance, interest, and depreciation. The bridge to wealth is built by systematically reducing the dead weight of liabilities and replacing them with productive engines, assets that generate cash flow or capital gains while you sleep. Shifting your mindset requires a rigorous audit of every dollar that leaves your hands. Before any significant purchase, the wealth builder asks, is this an expense or an investment? This doesn't mean living a life of deprivation, it means being strategic about the velocity of your money. If you spend $1,000 on a new television, that money is gone forever, and the object begins losing value immediately. If you spend that same $1,000 on a dividend-paying stock, a fractional share of a business, or a certification that allows you to charge double for your services, that money remains in your ecosystem. It becomes a seed. Over time, a portfolio of assets creates a self-sustaining loop where the income generated by the assets eventually covers all your expenses. One of the most overlooked assets is the acquisition of income-generating skills. In the early stages of wealth building, your greatest leverage is not your bank account, but your ability to produce value. Spending money on books, seminars, or specialized training is often the highest returning asset you can own because, unlike a house or a stock, no one can tax it or take it away from you, and it has no ceiling on its ROI. Once you have a high-income skill, you use the surplus income to buy hard assets like real estate, index funds, or private equity. The goal is to reach a tipping point where your assets produce more monthly income than your lifestyle requires, at which point work becomes a choice rather than a necessity. Wealth builders understand the opportunity cost of every expense. They don't just see a $5 coffee, they see the $50 that $5 could have become if invested over 20 years. This perspective changes the emotional weight of spending. It fosters a habit of delayed gratification, where you choose to be rich later rather than looking rich now. When you prioritize assets, you are essentially building a private bank. Each asset is a brick in a wall that protects you from economic downturns. By the time most people realize they've spent their lives collecting toys that are now in a landfill, the wealth builder has collected a portfolio of engines that provide total lifestyle design. Focus on the harvest, not the consumption of the seeds. Lesson 3. Master cash flow, not just income. High income is a deceptive metric of success. History is littered with athletes, celebrities, and corporate executives who earned millions of dollars yet ended up in bankruptcy. This happens because they focused on the inflow while ignoring the structure. Income is a one-time event. Cash flow is a system. Mastering cash flow means understanding the path every dollar takes from the moment it is earned until the moment it is either spent or invested. Without a system to direct the flow, money tends to evaporate through the cracks of convenience, impulse, and poor planning. You must be the CEO of your own household, managing your personal profit and loss statement with the same rigor as a Fortune 500 company. The first step in mastering cash flow is absolute awareness. Most people have no idea where their money goes, they only know where it went. Tracking your expenses is not about restriction, it is about empowerment. When you see exactly how much you are spending on subscriptions, dining, and miscellaneous items, you gain the power to redirect those streams toward your goals. This is often called zero-based budgeting, where every single dollar is assigned a job at the start of the month. Some dollars are assigned to pay rent, others to buy groceries, but a significant portion must be assigned to buy back your time through investments. When every dollar has a purpose, you eliminate the leakage that keeps most people on the treadmill. True financial power is found in the gap between your income and your expenses. This is your margin. The larger the margin, the faster you can reach financial independence. Mastering cash flow involves two simultaneous levers: increasing income and optimizing expenses. However, optimizing expenses has a flaw. You can only cut so much, while increasing income has no ceiling. The master of cash flow focuses on widening the gap from both sides. They look for ways to create passive or residual cash flow streams of income that do not require their direct time. This might include rental income, royalties, or interest. As these streams grow, they begin to cover fixed costs, creating a break-even point where your survival is no longer dependent on a paycheck. Finally, mastering cash flow requires an understanding of the timing of money. This includes managing debt, tax liabilities, and emergency reserves. A high-income individual with no liquidity is fragile. One bad month can topple their entire structure. A cash flow master ensures they have dry powder cash available to take advantage of market opportunities when they arise. They don't just wait for the end of the year to see how they did. They review their flow weekly. They treat their financial life as a living, breathing entity. By controlling the movement of your money, you stop being a victim of the economy and start becoming an architect of it. You move from a state of earning a living to designing a life. Lesson 4. Leverage compounding. Compounding is often called the eighth wonder of the world, yet it remains one of the most misunderstood concepts in finance because the human brain is evolved for linear, not exponential thinking. We expect that if we work twice as hard, we will get twice the result. But in the world of investing, compounding allows for a snowball effect where the results eventually far outpace the effort. In the beginning, the growth is agonizingly slow. It looks like a flat line. You might invest for 5 years and see very little change, but if you persist, you hit the elbow of the curve where the growth turns vertical. This is where your money begins to make money, and then that money makes money, creating a self-generating cycle of wealth. The most critical variable in the compounding equation is not the amount of money you start with, nor the interest rate you achieve, it is time. Because the growth is exponential, the final years of an investment period yield significantly more than the early years combined. For example, if you double a penny every day for 30 days, you have over $5 million. However, on day 20, you only have about 5,000. Most people quit on day 15 because they don't see the magic happening. The cost of waiting just 5 or 10 years to start investing can be measured in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in lost future value. This is why the best time to start was yesterday and the second best time is right now. To truly leverage compounding, one must embrace the boring middle. Wealth is not built in the excitement of a day trade or the adrenaline of a hot tip. It is built in the mundane consistency of reinvesting dividends and maintaining your contributions during market downturns. When you pull money out of the market to wait for things to settle down, you are resetting your compounding clock. You are cutting down the tree before it has a chance to bear fruit. Compounding requires a long-term horizon and the emotional stoicism to let the process work without interference. It is a game of patience where the rewards are heavily backloaded to favor those who can endure the volatility of the short term. Furthermore, compounding applies to more than just money. It applies to your habits, your network, and your knowledge. If you improve your financial literacy by just 1% every week, by the end of a few years you will possess a level of expertise that places you in the top tier of earners. If you consistently build relationships with people who are further along the path than you are, those connections compound into opportunities that are inaccessible to the average person. The compound effect is a universal law of success. By aligning your financial actions with this law, you stop fighting against the current and start letting the momentum of time do the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to be a genius to be wealthy, you just have to be early and consistent. Lesson 5. Upgrade your financial psychology. The bridge between financial theory and financial reality is built by your psychology. You can have the best spreadsheet, the best investment strategy, and the highest paying job, but if your internal money blueprint is set to scarcity or self-sabotage, you will eventually find a way to lose it all. Our beliefs about money are often formed in childhood, inherited from parents who may have viewed wealth with suspicion, fear, or a sense of not enoughness. To build lasting wealth, you must perform a psychological root canal to identify and remove these limiting beliefs. You must move from a poverty mindset which focuses on survival and fear to a wealth mindset which focuses on opportunity and abundance. One of the most destructive psychological traps is the scarcity myth, the belief that there is a finite amount of wealth and that if someone else is winning, you must be losing. This leads to envy, which clouds judgment and leads to poor decision-making. Wealth builders understand that value is something that can be created, not just divided. When you shift your focus to how can I provide more value to more people, the money follows as a natural byproduct. Your bank account is essentially a scorecard for the value you've delivered to the marketplace. When you embrace an abundance mindset, you stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as puzzles to be solved. You become a proactive creator rather than a reactive victim. Fear is the primary reason people stay broke. Fear of losing money, fear of looking stupid, or fear of the unknown keeps people stuck in safe but low-yielding positions like savings accounts or uninspiring jobs. Financial psychology involves training yourself to view risk not as something to be avoided, but as something to be managed. Strategy is the antidote to fear. When you have a clear plan, an emergency fund, and an understanding of market cycles, fear loses its grip on your actions. You begin to see market crashes as sales rather than catastrophes. You develop the investor temperament, the ability to remain rational when everyone else is acting on emotion. This psychological edge is what separates the wealthy from the crowd. Finally, you must cultivate a sense of deservingness and vision. If you subconsciously believe that wealthy people are greedy or that having money will change you for the worse, you will unconsciously push wealth away. You must align your identity with your goals. Visualize not just the money, but the person you must become to manage and grow that money. Wealth is a responsibility that requires discipline, continuous learning, and a high degree of integrity. As you upgrade your internal dialogue, replacing "I can't afford that" with "how can I afford that," you open up new neural pathways for problem solving. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state. Change the mind and the bank account will eventually be forced to catch up. Your paycheck is more than just money, it's potential. It's the raw material of your future. Every time you earn, you're given a choice: spend it on today or invest it in tomorrow. The difference between those who struggle financially and those who thrive isn't opportunity, it's decision. Small, consistent decisions made over time. Choosing to pay yourself first. Choosing assets over liabilities. Choosing discipline over impulse. You don't need a massive income to build wealth. You need a plan. You need consistency. And most importantly, you need to start. Because the longer you wait, the more you lose, not just money, but time. The one thing you can never get back. Imagine a future where your money works harder than you do, where your income isn't tied to your time, where your financial stress is replaced with freedom, choice, and control. That future isn't reserved for a few. It's available to anyone willing to think differently and act boldly. So starting today, don't just earn money, command it, direct it, multiply it, turn your paycheck into a wealth-building machine.